Welcome to Cost Saver Conversations. I'm Angela, and I ask the practical questions so you can quickly understand what matters. Today, I'm joined by Assad.
Hi, Angela. We are unpacking emergency fund runway. How long would your UK savings really last today? And tying it back to the wider cost saver ecosystem, including tools like Emergency Fund Runway Simulator UK months to empty, so you can turn insights into action quickly.
Just a heads up before we dive in, we are your synthetic hosts. We are great with numbers, but as AI, we can sometimes be confidently wrong. Think of us as the digital versions of your most knowledgeable, slightly caffeinated friends.
Exactly. Treat this chat as a smart estimate only, not as professional financial guidance. Always check important details with official sources or a qualified expert before making any big decisions.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're getting into something that, honestly, most people probably find a bit dull until the day it really, really matters. We're talking about your emergency fund runway. Basically, how long your savings would actually last if everything went sideways. And Assad is here with me as always.
Hey, Angela. Yeah, look, it's one of those topics where everyone carries a rough number in their head, right? Like, oh, I've got about 3 months saved. And then they just move on with their lives.
Right, and never actually check.
Never check. That's the thing. And when you do sit down and properly run the figures, the gap between what you think you have and what you actually have it can be pretty unsettling. For a lot of UK households, the real number is 6 to 8 weeks shorter than what they assumed.
Wait, 6 to 8 weeks shorter? That's not a rounding error. That's like,
That's $1,500 to $3,000 of cover that people thought they had, but just didn't. Yeah,
okay, that's a lot.
it is. And this isn't a fringe problem either. The Financial Conduct Authority's 2023 Financial Lives Survey found that around 11% of UK adults had no savings at all, zero. And then a further 34% had less than $2,000 put aside.
So nearly half the country is basically,
One boiler breakdown away from borrowing. Yeah, pretty much.
God, that's sobering.
And the Money and Pension Service reported that roughly 1 in 6 UK adults couldn't last a week without borrowing if their main income disappeared. And 45% couldn't last a month. Those numbers should make all of us, pause. Does that make sense? Like, even people who think they're okay should be double checking.
It really does. So, okay, let's get into the mistakes then, because it sounds like the problem isn't just that people don't save enough, it's that they calculate wrong.
Exactly. So mistake number one, and this is the big one, people confuse average spending with essential spending. They pull up last month's bank statement, add everything up and go, right, that's what I need per month. But that total includes the takeaways, the weekend pints, the random Amazon stuff.
The gym membership you keep meaning to cancel?
Every time. But here's the thing, the opposite trap is just as bad. Some people strip out everything they think they could live without and end up with this fantasy figure that somehow doesn't include car insurance or council tax or, birthday presents for their kids. You're still going to buy your kid a birthday present in an emergency.
Right, you're not going to become a hermit overnight.
No. So the honest number sits in the middle. And the way to find it is you sort of separate everything into 3 buckets. Survival costs, rent or mortgage, council tax, utilities, food, basic transport, insurance. Then commitment costs, debt repayments, childcare, prescriptions, school stuff. And then lifestyle costs, subscriptions, eating out, holidays, hobbies.
And your runway should be survival plus commitment.
Exactly. Lifestyle is what gets cut when the emergency actually hits.
Okay, what's mistake number 2?
Forgetting irregular and annual bills. This one catches so many people. We think monthly, right? But car insurance, MOT, boiler service, TV license, dental checkups, school uniforms, Christmas, none of that fits neatly into a monthly pattern. And if you only count what shows up in the month you happen to do the maths, you'll understate your true outgoings by 10% to 20%.
Oh, yeah, my car insurance is an annual lump sum, and I sort of mentally budget for it, but if I just looked at 1 month's statement, it wouldn't be there.
Right. And the fix is dead simple, but people don't do it. Pull a full year of bank statements, add up everything you spent, divide by 12. That's your real monthly average. It takes about 30 minutes, and honestly, it's probably the single highest value half hour you'll spend on your finances all year.
30 minutes. That's less time than most people spend scrolling before bed.
Way less, way less.
All right, mistake three?
Assuming your bills stay flat. This is the one that, well, it's kind of insidious because it happens slowly. Energy tariffs reset, mortgage fixes end, council tax goes up every April, rents climb at renewal. And if your savings are just sitting in a current account earning nothing while inflation is eating 3% to 4% a year, your real runway is shrinking every single month. On a $6,000 pot, that quiet erosion is $180 to $240 a year.
Which is roughly a week of essential cover, just gone without you touching it.
Without you touching it. Yeah, and with off-gym price cap reviews now landing every 3 months and a lot of fixed mortgage deals rolling off in 2026, the cost of just waiting to recalculate is real.
That's actually kind of terrifying when you put it like that.
And then there's mistake 4, which is counting money that isn't really available. People pad their number with a help to buy ISA they can't access without losing the bonus, or premium bonds they'd feel awful cashing in, or money that's technically set aside for a holiday or a wedding. If you would feel genuine resistance to spending it in an emergency, it is not emergency money. Full stop.
There was this example in the blog, Sarah, a teacher from Leeds.
Yeah, Sarah. So she thought she had 4 months of cover because her balance was £8,000. But when her partner was made redundant, she realized $3,000 was earmarked for their daughter's wedding contribution, $1,500 was a holiday deposit they'd lose if canceled, and $1,000 was in a lifetime ISA with a 25% withdrawal penalty. Her actual emergency money was $2,500.
Barely 6 weeks.
Barely 6 weeks, and she only found out when she needed it. That's the part that really...
That's the part that gets you, yeah. Okay, so beyond the maths mistakes, you mentioned hidden costs, like things that come with the emergency itself?
Right. So even if your calculation is perfect, real emergencies bring costs that planning models just don't capture. Take job loss. It's not a clean event. There's typically a 5 to 6 week gap before the first universal credit payment lands. And even then, the amounts rarely cover a working family's full outgoings.
5 to 6 weeks with nothing coming in? That's brutal.
And then there are the costs of actually finding a new job. Travel to interviews, smarter clothes, maybe courses, possibly a new laptop if your work one goes back to the employer. And this is the bit people forget. Being at home full-time is more expensive than being at work. Heating, lighting, food costs, they all climb. Typically $80 to $150 a month more for an average household.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that at all. You're using more energy, eating at home more.
Exactly. And mental health costs can creep up too. More takeaways because cooking feels impossible, or just the heating being on all day because you're sitting at the kitchen table applying for jobs. It all adds up.
What about health emergencies? I mean, we've got the NHS, so...
Yeah, NHS care is free at the point of use, but a health crisis still costs money. Prescriptions, hospital parking, which is honestly criminal how much some of them charge, taxis to appointments, time off for partners or family, special dietary needs, home adaptations. And if you're self-employed or on a 0-hours contract, the picture gets really grim. Statutory sick pay in the UK, for most earners, replaces less than 20% of normal take-home pay.
Less than 20%?
Less than 20%. So if your runway assumes SSP is going to meaningfully replace your income, you need to run those numbers again. Have I explained that clearly? Like, it's not that SSP is nothing, it's just, it's nowhere near enough for most people to live on.
No, that's really clear. and honestly, quite alarming. What about the home and car stuff?
So, the annoying thing about home and car emergencies is they tend to cluster. Boilers typically last 10 to 15 years, a roof 20 to 30. Cars start needing major work around 80,000 to 100,000 miles. And boilers love dying in January, obviously, when you need them most. If you haven't budgeted for these as inevitable, not surprising, inevitable, they're going to smash into your emergency fund.
And the costs are not small.
No. Boiler replacement, 2,000 to 4,000 fitted. Car clutch or gearbox, 600 to 2,000. Major roof repair, 1,500 to 6,000. Even emergency dental work can run 100 to 1,000 or more if NHS access is limited. And a decent washing machine or fridge freezer if yours dies, 300 to 800.
And then there are the life events that nobody wants to think about. Bereavements, separations.
Yeah. Funerals in the UK now average over $4,000 according to several insurer surveys. Separation often means duplicate household costs while someone finds new accommodation. Look, none of this is comfortable to plan for, but ignoring it doesn't make it cheaper.
Fair enough. Okay, so we've thoroughly depressed everyone. Let's talk about the better choices. What do you actually do about all this?
Right, yeah. Let's get constructive. So, first thing, size your fund to your actual life, not to a generic rule of thumb. The 3 to 6 months thing is a starting point, but it depends massively on your situation.
How do you break that down?
So, roughly, stable salary job, no dependents, renting, 3 months of essentials is probably okay. Stable salaried with dependents and a mortgage, 6 months. Variable income or single household income with dependents, 9 months. And self-employed, sole trader, or contract work, you really want 9 to 12 months.
9 to 12 months. That's a serious amount of money for most people.
It is, but the thing is, you don't have to get there overnight. You just need to know what you're aiming for. And then, this is important, keep that money accessible, but earning something. Cash sitting in a current account at 0% is not safe. It's actively losing value to inflation.
So what do you do with it?
Split it into 2 tiers. Tier 1, 1 month of essentials and instant access cash. That's your boiler just died money. Tier 2, the rest in a high-interest, easy access account or short notice account. Easy access savings accounts have been offering competitive rates recently, and premium bonds are still a tax-free option for higher-rate taxpayers. Most providers let you move money in under 24 hours, so you're barely sacrificing any flexibility.
Oh, that's actually reassuring. I think people picture emergency funds as having to be like cash under the mattress.
No, definitely not under the mattress. And then, and this is the bit people skip, cut the leaks before you try to top up. Adding $50 a month to your emergency fund while paying $80 a month on subscriptions you don't use is not progress. Cancel the duplicates, renegotiate your broadband, switch insurance at renewal instead of auto-renewing. Do that first.
Spend smarter before you try to save more.
Exactly. And then build the habit. The households with the most resilient finances aren't always the highest earners. They're the ones with an automatic transfer on payday, regular check-ins on direct debits, and a clear idea of what's essential versus what's not. Even a $25 standing order the day after payday, over a year, that does more than any amount of good intentions.
You mentioned a monthly rhythm in the blog. Can you walk through that quickly?
Sure. So day after payday, automatic transfer to emergency savings. First weekend of the month, quick scan of your bank statements for anything unexpected. Mid-month, pick one bill or subscription and decide if it stays. End of quarter, rerun your runway calculation with current figures, and end of year, review the full 12 months and reset your targets.
I like that. It's not overwhelming. It's just little check-ins.
That's exactly it. Little check-ins, because your runway is a living number, not a one-off calculation. Every time something significant changes, new job, new mortgage rate, new baby, you should be rechecking.
And for people who want to actually do this properly, there's the simulator, right?
Yeah, the Emergency Fund Runway Simulator. You put in your essential outgoings, your savings, and some honest assumptions about what would change in an emergency, and it gives you a months to empty figure you can actually trust. No personal details, no bank connections, nothing stored. Takes about 10 minutes with your bank statements handy.
And you said to run it twice?
Yeah, that's the key bit. Run it once with optimistic numbers, partner still working, SSP coming in, everything best case. Then run it again with realistic numbers, sole income lost, no statutory cover, worst case. The gap between those two answers, that's your planning blind spot. And closing that gap is honestly the most useful financial exercise most UK households can do this year.
Hmm, I hadn't thought about it like that. The gap being the actual insight, not just the number itself.
Right, because a short runway you can see is far better than a long runway you only imagined.
I love that. Okay, let me try to pull this together for everyone. So, be honest about what your essential spending actually is. Use that three-bucket system: survival, commitment, lifestyle. Pull a full year of statements, not just 1 month, to catch the irregular stuff. Don't assume prices stay flat. Don't count money you wouldn't actually use in a crisis. Factor in the hidden costs that come with emergencies themselves: the heating, the job search costs, the SSP gap. Size your target to your real life, not a generic rule. Keep the money earning something, cut the leaks, build the habit with small, regular check-ins, and run the simulator twice to find your blind spot.
That's perfect. That's all of it.
Look at me, I was paying attention.
Gold star.
Assad, thank you. This has been genuinely really useful and slightly terrifying, but in a productive way.
That's the best kind of terrifying. Thanks, Angela.
Quick side note, this guide connects with other cost saver blogs, especially Hidden Costs Commuting Calculators Miss, Checklist for Verifying a Local Service Provider, and Mistakes to Avoid When Moving Cities.
Exactly. And reading those together helps you connect the dots across your household budget, not just this one topic in isolation.
And if you want to apply this immediately, jump into tools like Emergency Fund Runway Simulator UK, months to empty right after this episode.
Primary sources used here include calculators showing UK Emergency Fund runway simulation, so you can verify the data yourself and stay evidence-led.
That wraps this cost saver conversation with Angela and Asav. If this helped, share it with someone who could put these ideas to work this week.
Your next step is simple. Try Emergency Fund Runway Simulator UK, months to empty, then read Hidden Costs Commuting Calculators Miss, and use them together to take action today.